All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. I'll let some of y'all boys get up in this joint. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, let me put my stats up. Oh. Okay. All right. Let me put my. Oh, I should have put the actual. Oh, let me put the stream one on my side. Okay. There we go. That way I can actually look and see what's in the world is going on here. What's going on, boys? We're going back streaming again. Why is it not zooming in on the actual page? Do I gotta like zoom in? There we go. Because this article right here was very interesting, especially in the timing, because I actually got a hint from somebody within RAM to check in to this very simple topic. But what's going on, guys? I definitely had to go and talk about this because I was meaning to go talk about a bunch of topics yesterday, but I had to all of a sudden go and pick my son up when I was off duty from being a dad. I had to go pick him up from school, so I got kind of stopped in my tracks. What do I do with my hat? Yeah, I got kind of stopped in my tracks from actually talking about these topics. I got like several topics to talk about that I wanted to talk about yesterday, but we can definitely get into it today. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let me see. Oh, I'm already recording. But yeah, I found it very interesting. This right here, this article from Mopar Insiders about Ram needs to bring back a true sport truck. A unique street-focused Ram 1500 is long overdue. And I'm not gonna go through the whole article and stuff, but basically for years, Ram has been known for building bold, aggressive trucks that stand out from the crowd. But in today's lineup, something is missing: a true sport truck. In the 1990s and early 2000s, were the golden era of high-performance street trucks, and Ram played a big role in that movement. Models like the Rumblebee, the Thunder Road, the Hemi Express, and the Daytona brought a unique blend of muscle car attitude and truck capability to the streets. Today, however, Ram's lineup has shifted focus to entirely off-road variants, leaving a major gap for buyers who want something sporty but don't want the all-terrain capability. And that was one of my main complaints with the TRX. I'm going like, man, I love my TRX to death, but all that power for a 702 horsepower truck and it can't go over 118 miles an hour. I'm like, damn, this is almost a waste because if you drive a TRX, like literally within like 10 seconds of you driving it, you're already at 118 miles an hour, like 10, 15 seconds, something crazy like that, right? Like you're literally so fast and you already maxed out. And it's like, damn, like I wish the truck go way faster. And I know the truck can go faster than that, but that was my one gripe with the TRX. Because if they made a street version of the TRX, I would have been in that truck so fast. But I love my TRX to death, but I just wish I had an on-road version of my Ram TRX. Let's see. Yeah, off-road isn't for everyone. So in recent years, Ram has placed an emphasis on off-road packages like the Rebel, the RHO, and the TRX. But not everyone needs or wants a truck designed for mud and rocks. Some buyers want a truck that looks fast, feels fun to drive, and stands out without needing a lifted suspension and oversized tires. The sport truck formula worked so well in the past because it provided an aggressive look and strong performance in a package that was still practical for daily driving. And the TRX, don't get me wrong, it is definitely great for daily driving, but the gas mileage wouldn't be as good as it would for an actual street truck variant. But I love my TRX to death because even my TRX with 702 horsepower and lifted, you could drive that truck literally anywhere. It doesn't matter. Like I had no worries about, go driving in my yard or popping curves or going across a median or whatever and just going over stuff. I mean, there is a time and a place for it, but for that to be really the only option to get a 700 horsepower Ram truck, that's my only gripe with it. I love my TRX. If I had to get another pickup truck, my TRX would be number one on my list because I can do literally everything with it. The only thing I can't really do with it is tow that great, but Everything else I would love to go do in my truck again. But now it sucks that we only have an RHO for right now, but that's for now. But let me go down and I'll get into this hint that I got from somebody within Ram of a sport truck coming. But if you look at Ram's 1500 lineup today, the closest thing to a special edition is the built to serve. While these trucks offer unique colors and options and a few added features, they are still far too similar to the bighorn models. Plus, they don't have really a lot of horsepower to them. There's no bold, in-your-face styling like the Rumblebee or the Daytona once had. No sportier wheels, body kit, or real attempts to stand out from the crowd. Ram fans deserve better, and I totally agree with that. But at the same time, there still is a place for off-road trucks, but they still need to have on-road sporty performance trucks because, you know, it kind of was like a slap in the face when Ford brought back the Lightning, and then they should have brought the Lightning back, but basically made it an on-road Raptor, and then that should have basically got under Ram's skin and basically brought back a on-road version of the TRX, maybe like a what you call it? Well, I know the SRT 10, but maybe an SRT 8. You know, Ram pickup truck where you basically got a Hellcat powered Ram truck versus a you know, what's the supercharged version of the Coyote engine called in the Raptor? I forgot exactly what it's called, but those two trucks go against one another. For some reason, GM is allergic to making, you know, high powered pickup trucks, whatever. So it would have been like a tick for tack, basically Ford against Ram, and I think that would have been a great on-road battle because you have the battle of on-road trucks and a battle of off-road trucks, and that would have been very interesting to see. Let's see. I'm gonna skip down. With muscle car sales declining and more enthusiasts looking towards, with muscle car sales declining and more enthusiasts looking toward trucks for performance and style, Ram has a golden opportunity to bring back a true sport truck, a more modern, street-focused Ram 1500 that could take inspiration from past models, all while incorporating today's technology and design trends. Imagine a lower stance, sportier wheels, aggressive graphics, and a factory-tuned exhaust system to let the Hemi roar. Creating something truly special wouldn't take much, and demand is certainly there. Yeah, and the demand definitely is there, right? I mean, that's my only gripe, that we don't have a lot of options if you have a Dodge muscle car to have a Ram truck that matches it, right? Because, I mean, it would be very cool if you had like a Scat Pack Challenger and then you had like a Ram pickup truck that was like maybe like a Rumblebee, whatever, and they both have a very similar B logo on the trucks. And that'll be a cool pairing for somebody who, you know, has that kind of garage, right? Maybe a yellow Super B or, you know, like a yellow Scat Pack. Well, yellow wasn't really a very popular color in the Charger, but you get what I'm saying. You have like a Scat Pack with a logo and then maybe like a yellow Rumblebee or a red Rumblebee, whatever, pickup truck that kind of match the colors on there. So that's why I wish they would basically go back to making unique looking vehicles. But I did get a hint from somebody within Ram, and if you're really paying attention, you might know who it is. But someone definitely told me that while I'm digging around, because they always note that I always do a lot of research when I make a lot of my in-depth videos and stuff, that I do a lot of research, and so I should look into the growth of sport trucks. And they basically just pointed out how, you know, I've been saying just saying, so I should look into the growth of sport trucks. So if this person is telling me that I need to look into sport trucks, I think Ram's definitely gonna come out with a sport truck for the Ram 1500, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be a Hurricane powered sport truck. Something just tells me they're gonna put maybe at least a 5.7 version of a sport truck, maybe something like this right here, that's gonna come back to Ram probably within the next year or two, because, you know, that's another way where they actually drop the cost, because you don't have the extra cost of like a TRX or RHO to where you got to pay for the all-wheel drive system, the bigger tires. You don't have the actual lifted suspension system and stuff. So you can literally just cut the cost by going with a lowered street truck. Well, it probably look more like this, because I don't think they're gonna have a single cab. But yeah, you basically have just a lowering kit, bigger rims, smaller tires, so that should kind of offset the cost of having an all-wheel drive system, off-road tires, those heavy control arms, because those control arms on the TRX are massive. Those big old shocks from Bilstein, so they can definitely cut the costs off of a TRX if they made a lowered version of a TRX and basically made that one sport truck version that's supercharged, and then make maybe like a Rumblebee again with basically a natural aspirated version with a 5.7 in there. Like, I think that would be actually pretty cool if people actually go back to. And then the beautiful thing is you can still have mostly the same towing capacity with it instead of having an actual off-road truck. So I'm thinking we're definitely going to see a TRX come back within 2 years, and then maybe a street truck version of a TRX that's going to be basically something like that right there. And maybe just have like the crazy graphics where he showed the graphics at. Yeah, where you might have like I think that right there is a Rumblebee. Maybe something like that, a Rumblebee package. Not a single cab like that. And then also have like maybe a Daytona again for the Ram 1500 pickup truck. So I could definitely see that happening. And then now I got a hint for someone within Ram. I think it's definitely possible. So I definitely would love to see a on-road version, a high horsepower Ram 1500 pickup truck with a 5.7 and fingers crossed a supercharged V8 in there. Because I don't really understand why the trucks. Well, I can understand why, you know, Cause the Various got rid of the V8 out of the pickup trucks, but why not have like special editions that only had the V8s in there, right? So I mean, there's nothing could have stopped them from making a Rumblebee pickup truck in the current trucks, and that only had the 5.7 in there, right? Just limited number there, maybe like 2,000-3,000 units, and then come up with that, because they were doing the same thing with like the TRX. TRX was coming out with like 1 to 2 special editions like every year. So why not have it where, like, you know, last year they could have kept the 5.7 in the Ram 1500 and put like maybe a Rumblebee for like the first special edition, and then this year you have like another special edition, like maybe a Daytona special edition with a 5.7 in there, right? I mean, they could have easily did like maybe 2,000 trucks, 3,000 trucks, kind of like the Demons, and kept the 5.7 in there. I mean, they would definitely lose against the Hurricane powered trucks since they're have higher horsepower, but people would have bought it just to have the nostalgia of having a 5.7 in there. And I think the dealers would have loved it because they'll be able to charge over sticker. Because you're going like, oh, there's not that many of these trucks, and you're going to have to, we don't know if Ram's going to keep doing this or not. But it definitely is a missed opportunity for them to make street trucks by them not, you know, just not doing it. But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that Ram is going to make a street truck? I got a pretty good hint, like I said, from somebody within Ram. And if you're really paying attention, you might know who I might have got a hint from. But definitely let me know what you guys think. And then let's go to the next topic. I thought this was pretty interesting because Mopar Insiders talked about this, and I had just got a hint from somebody within Ram about this. Yeah, I thought this one right here was pretty funny right here, where Jeep was talking about, Jeep owners frustrated by intrusive in-car ads. Stellantis drive for software profits forces drivers to contend with intrusive pop-up ads. And I thought this was pretty funny because that was one thing that they were talking about during software day, where they was basically going to try to get like 20 or 40 billion dollars a year in basically trying to push software to your car. And for this right here, they're pushing all these Mopar vehicle protection plans to Jeep customers. So the Mopar vehicle protection maximum care plans are factory backed and offer you the peace of mind in case of a mechanical breakdown. Press the call button to speak with a specialist. The odometer must be less than 36,000 miles to purchase. And the funny thing about this was, if you go read through this article, that even though people were clicking off to do it, it kept coming back. So one post on the 4xe forums highlighted one owner's experience of receiving multiple warranty ads on a Uconnect screen during a short drive. Short of smashing a brick through the screen, does anyone know how to stop the radio from displaying the Mopar extended warranty ad every time I come to a stop? The user vented. I can't believe they graduate from telemarketing phone harassment to actually displaying this crap on the screen in the vehicle while you're driving. So, I mean, I haven't experienced this in my Demon 170. So I don't know whether or not this is something they're doing just for Jeep or whatever. But it is pretty interesting that this is happening, and I'll put a clip of the lady talking about this when I actually cut this up for a video, where she talked about how they're going to try to expand to actually get people to do basically microtransactions through the cars by pushing this to you. So she was basically saying that they're going to do like stuff like this, stuff like horsepower upgrades. She's going to talk about if you can unlock stuff through like AI in here. You can unlock like in the Ram trucks like payload capacity. And then she's also saying that you can also unlock like speaker quality. You can unlock speaker quality, Fire TV from Amazon. So there's a lot of stuff that Stellantis is going to lock behind paywalls and then push it to you on your car. And this right here, I guess, is its first attempt at actually going to that future of doing this stuff to customers. But like basically Stellantis basically saying that this was an actual glitch, but I don't think it was a glitch. I think it was just a problem that this was just something that they was planning on doing all along. But this is what they point out, Mopar Insiders. The issue stems from Jeep's parent company, Stellantis, which has been expanding its push to software-driven revenue. According to a company announcement during EV Day 2021, the automaker aimed to generate $20.8 billion annually for software-enabled services, including in-car ads. So that was what the lady who was on screen talking about. I think her name was like Mamata. She the one who quit like last year. But she was saying that's what Stellantis was going to do when they actually start trying to promote and get more money out of customers after you bought the car. Let's see. A Stellantis spokesman said that the issue was due to a temporary software glitch that affected the ability to instantly opt out in a few isolated cases. Though the instant opt out is standard for all vehicles in our in-vehicle messages. Let's see. Our team had already identified and corrected the error, and we are following up directly with the customer to ensure the matter is fully resolved. However, Jeep's initial response to a frustrated customer on social media only fueled the fire. It should be also noted that ads are part of your contractual agreement with SiriusXM, but we are working on the frequency Jeep Cares account noted. So like when you click opt in and stuff, you know how they always hide stuff in the little agreements and crap. So that's what they basically are talking about right here. That once you click that you want to have the service for XM, for SiriusXM, that you agree to keep getting these ads in your car. And then someone was saying, to disable the pop-ups, users must dig through multiple menus and locate the setting to turn off in-vehicle notifications. While this provides a way to opt out, it is a hassle, especially for those unfamiliar with the vehicle's data collection and tracking capabilities. So like that was like I want to say I could have sworn I saw somewhere where they said you actually had to go through the actual website. Oh yeah, I skipped over it. For those looking to end the pop-ups, there is a way, though it's not exactly straightforward. Owners need to visit the Jeep Connect website, create an account, which enables you to which requires you to have an email, a password, and acknowledgement of a disclosure statement. After logging in, users must link their vehicle by entering their VIN number. Through the Jeep Connect system, they can manage various features, including remote start to premium services like dynamic range navigation, which adjusts the route based on fuel level or battery charge. That's very interesting. Oh, then that's why I skipped over the part where you gotta go in there to actually turn off the notifications. So that's pretty funny that you got to go in there and turn off notifications for your Jeep in order for you to stop getting this pop-up on there. And this is just a start. I mean, they haven't even gotten to the point where they haven't got to the point to where they actually got this other stuff they're gonna try to push over the air through your car. So hopefully this is a good lesson for them to stop doing this nonsense of trying to push subscriptions to people while they're actually driving their car. And then according to this right here, it was getting pushed literally every single time that the person was coming to a stop. That's wild. So that's definitely wild what was going on here. But yeah, I just found this funny. But yeah, definitely let me think about this one right here. Instead of telemarketers hassling you, now you got your own car hassling you while you're driving every time you come to a stop. Automakers across the industry are looking for other ways to monetize software features, often through subscriptions or in-car advertising. In 2022, BMW faced an intense backlash when attempting to charge $18 a month for heated seats, eventually scrapping the idea due to customer outrage. Yeah. And that was one of the things I think I saw somewhere where they were gonna try to do the same thing here. But yeah. BMW learned their lesson. I don't think nobody's gonna do that crap. Okay, let me look at some of this stuff. Boo, Tim is feeding you knowledge. I didn't say it was Tim Knissis. I'm just saying if you're really paying attention, you might know who it is who I was talking to. I'm just saying if you're really paying attention. I didn't say it was Tim. But could you flat plane crank can you flat plane a Hemi crank and shorten the stroke to get more RPMs out of it for a mid engine? Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out. But I would hope to think that if they're coming up with a new, different V8 that has new technology in there. But shoot, yeah, I saw you just waking up because I saw your video where you talking about TK that you were basically up at 5 o'clock in the morning talking about cars. So yeah, I see that. Yeah. I definitely can't wait to see a new V8. Definitely gonna take a while, but definitely the 5.7 gonna come back. But let me go over to the next topic. Uh, yeah, so this one right here, I thought was very interesting. Stellantis halts the Casio production amid low demand. Yeah, what was that Casino? Stellantis halts casino production again amid low demand. Alfa Romeo Maserati models face another extended shutdown. And this is where I was saying the other day that I think that what Dodge need to do is basically get a rebadged Alfa Romeo Giulia as a mid-sized car and bring it to America because apparently those Alfa Romeo and Maserati vehicles, they're not selling that well. So they're having to shut the plant down. So like, yeah, the Stellantis Casino assembly plant in Italy is facing yet another production stoppage due to low demand for its vehicles. The plant would manufactures the Alfa Romeo Giulia, the Stelvio, and the Grecale, whatever you call that car, was shut down from Thursday, February 13th to February 24th. This marks another setback for casino workers who have already endured multiple shutdowns in recent months. The latest stoppage follows an extended holiday closure during which production was halted for nearly a month. As a result, by the end of February, the plant will have operated only 15 days in 2 months for 2025. And so that's what I'm saying. This makes perfect sense for them to bring back a mid-sized V8 car because if they're already working on a actual replacement to the Giulia, let me go find an article about it. There we go. Because based on Mopar insiders, they're supposed to be working on a next generation Alfa Romeo Giulia. And so if they actually do this and make it at that plant, they can make a Dodge midsize car over there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look on basically what this article was saying from Mopar Insiders, Alfa Romeo is making a bold move on the next generation Giulia, with it set to debut in 2026 as a 2027 model. According to rumors, the upcoming Italian sports car will ditch the traditional trunk in favor of a hatchback design, following in the footsteps of the Dodge Charger Daytona. So both the new Giulia and the Charger Daytona will be built on a Stella Large platform, but the Alfa Romeo will be positioned at the D segment, making it smaller, more agile than the full-size Charger. The size difference makes the hatchback design more beneficial, giving the Giulia more versatility without compromising its signature handling and performance. So that's why I was saying in the other video I made about this, if they go and make this car a midsize, both at the Stella Large platform, they can make it slightly larger than a actual Mustang. Because the D segment, I'll give you an example in the other video, was you basically have like Honda Accords, Camrys, I think the BMW or what 3 Series, and also a Mustang. All those are D segment vehicles. And so if Stellantis is going to make a D segment Alfa Romeo Giulia, and the Giulia does not sell here in the US that well, why not make a Dodge version of that car? Basically, change the sheet metal on there, kind of like how they changed the sheet metal on the actual 300 and the Charger. Those were basically the same vehicle. A lot of the same parts were bolted up to those cars. So basically, do some sheet metal changes to the actual Giulia, the new version. You can make it over there in Italy, and you can import it over here. So those workers in Italy can get back to work and make an actual car is going to sell in the US. Or since it's made on a Stella Large platform, they can make it at any one of the plants over here in America, right? Because Windsor is Stella Large. They can make it over there at Windsor alongside the actual Charger. They can go make it maybe at Toledo, because they're supposed to move the actual Gladiator onto the same line as the Wrangler, so they're gonna have a line freed up so they can make it over in Toledo. They gonna have basically Belvedere, right? Because they're gonna make the mid-size truck on Belvedere, so they can make the mid-size pickup truck for Ram, and they also make a mid-size car for Dodge right there in the same exact plant, since both on Stella Large. Honestly, if they want to make another vehicle over there, they can make a mid-size SUV for maybe Chrysler or somebody over there at Belvedere, and Belvedere can have like 3 products off Stella Large. They can make a mid-size pickup truck for Ram. They can make a mid-size SUV for either Dodge or Ram, and then they can make a mid-size car for Dodge. And so they can basically pack Belvedere with a lot of stuff. Or like, if they want to bring like, maybe want to bring the Journey back, because I was talking about that last night on my other live stream, that maybe they bring back a mid-size SUV for Dodge and call it the Stealth, because apparently the new replacement to the actual Durango is not be called a Stealth no more, but maybe they bring back a mid-size SUV that's kind of based off this Giulia but taller, kind of like how like the Model Y is basically the same thing as the Model 3, just taller. So why don't they make it like a taller either Giulia replacement, or even heck, the Charger Daytona is so big it can really be an SUV. Or they can make a rebadged version of the Wagoner S and call it a Journey for Dodge. So they got a lot of options for them to bring back a mid-sized vehicle for Dodge, especially either a car or SUV or even both, because Dodge's lineup was very bare. So that's why I thought this was very interesting for them to actually have a plant that's not producing a lot of mid-sized cars. And if they're going to make an actual mid-size Giulia, a new one for 2026 model year, why not make a Dodge version? So depending on how tariffs and stuff work over the next couple of years, if they can't get the car built in Europe because of tariffs, build it in America. They got plenty of plants that are going to be set up with Stella Large, and they can actually build a new mid-size car for Dodge. And so I think that would make a lot of sense for Dodge to get a mid-size car, because Dodge only makes right now a full-size Charger, a small, basically, well, the Hornet is basically like a compact, crossover SUV, and then they make the Durango. So they basically need like a mid-sized car that's cheaper and need a mid-sized SUV that's cheaper. So I think that would work, because honestly, the Hornet's not doing so good. Hopefully when the GLH comes out, it might help boost sales, since now they're gonna have like a performance variant, but it's still gonna be a problem with cost. Dodge need cars that's in the $20,000 to $40,000 range to get people into the door, because if interest rates are so high, how people are going to actually afford these vehicles anymore? But I did think this was very interesting, since it was talking about right here that despite the challenges, there is some optimism surrounding the next generation of Alfa Romeo Stelvio, expected to debut later this year, and the redesigned Giulia set to arrive in 2026. These models could help revive production at the casino or casino, whatever you would call it, but uncertainty remains until then. So that's what I'm saying. If this plant is basically being down majority of the times because there's not a lot of demand in these Alfa Romeo vehicles, why not make a Dodge replacement and ship it out? So I'm just saying. Or even if not even just a Dodge replacement, if they, let's say for example, I know Matt McClure from Dodge CEO said that in Europe they're going to start exporting the Charger Daytona to Europe. So why not, instead of exporting from Canada, why not you make it at this plant right here, right? Since they're all Stella Large, why not make a Charger Daytona Magnum or a Charger Magnum, a wagon, because Europe loves wagons. Why not make that here at this plant? So there's a lot of options that they have, and if they make like a Charger wagon that's a Magnum, I think that'd be pretty good here in the U.S. too. It would make a lot of sense for that big giant Charger. But I'm just saying that it does make sense for them to actually bring back a mid-sized car for Dodge, and they got plenty of locations where they can actually make this vehicle at. So. Oh, what's up, TK, man? Shoot, why don't you go put your whiskey in your coffee cup, man, to wake up? But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think. That do you think that Dodge should bring back a mid-sized car? And there's not really a lot of different brands that make cars for Stellantis. You only really have Dodge, Alfa Romeo, Maserati. So if they want to make a business case and kind of cut down costs, rebadging and re-engineering some of these cars between brands makes a lot of sense. They need an entry-level car, SUV, and truck. People out here are in no position to buy this overpriced vehicles. They need to be in the 20 to 24K range, and they will sell thousands. I mean, honestly, I think that if they're between 25 and 35K, I think they'll sell. 25 to 35, like a very budget. Like if a compact car was like 20, 25K, kind of like a Miata, that would work for Dodge. And then if they had like another car that's like a mid-size, like basically takes on the Mustang directly, I think that would work. Because I think the cheapest Mustang is like what, $35,000 for an EcoBoost Mustang. So they make an EcoBoost competitor with a mid-size, I'm thinking they'll call it a Challenger or a Cuda, whatever. There's a mid-size car to slot underneath the actual Charger. They're gonna do either one of them, either a compact car or a mid-size car. I mean, they already got the Attitude that's down in Mexico that's making a lot of sales, but they got a lot of options. But let me go. I think I have. Well, yeah, this one right here was very interesting because Dodge issues customer notification for Demon 170 owners. Stellantis quietly addresses power loss issues in its most powerful muscle car ever. And like, look at that. My dear friends at not Motor Trend. Oh, Lord, I can't believe I disrespected Mopar Insiders. But my dear friends at Mopar Insiders, they tagged my video on this article where I basically, broke this down. But I actually have the actual notice. Where's my notice at? Yeah, I got it right here. I actually got my notice right here in the mail from there we go. I actually got it in the mail from FCA. Or it says FCA, but I don't know why I don't say Stellantis, but they haven't updated all the paperwork yet. But I did get the notice in the mail. And yeah, there goes the actual notice right there. Customer notification. I know it's bright because I got a very bright light, but yeah, I actually got it in the mail for my Demon 170. And let's see, the 2023 Dodge Challenger Demon 170 celebrated its most powerful muscle car ever built and has been issued a customer satisfaction notification by the automaker Stellantis, which has quietly announced that all 3,311 units of the Demon 170 are affected by a spark plug issue that caused engine misfires and power loss. This comes after a year of complaints from owners who noticed their cars were not delivering the promised performance. And honestly, I didn't necessarily notice a loss of performance. I just know from talking to other people that every time they got their car fixed from the various issues, whether or not it was the harmonic balancers falling off people's cars, or if it was a situation where like they had something wrong with their car where they like metal shavings in their oil and stuff, they had to get engine replacements, that all the spark plugs, and every single person I ever talked to, all the spark plugs were all not gapped properly. So I'm glad they finally addressed this, because I've even did this in videos last year where I made probably about 3 or 4 videos talking about this in the summertime, how I was talking to Dodge in the background about multiple customers coming to me, talking to me about spark plug issues. And this was something that I've covered in plenty of videos about this. But I'm glad that Dodge finally did an actual recall. And like I said, I got the paperwork right here and finally got it in the mail for people to go get this recall done. But they don't necessarily want to call it a recall. It just what do they call it? a motor vehicle notification. Let's see. According to Butter, dealerships are receiving spark plug replacement kits to address this issue. The recall impacts every Demon 170 on the road, in the showrooms, or in inventory. Dealers have been instructed to inspect and repair all vehicles before delivery or during routine service visits. So you can go read through all the rest of it yourself. There's only a few things, but affected owners will be contacted via email. Well, not really via email. It's gonna be contacted via notification through mail that to schedule a free repair at the authorized dealerships. Additionally, those who previously paid for spark plug replacements at a dealership may be eligible for reimbursement. And I know that for a fact because I've had people who have had issues with their Demon 170 where they try to change their own spark plugs, but the spark plug was cross-threaded in the block. So I've had to tell people to go to the dealership and get them to, fix that for you. And sometimes the dealership would charge it to Dodge. Some dealership would charge it to the customer. So I had to go to Dodge and basically you can go to concierge and tell them the same thing. Like, look, I try to get the spark plugs replaced. Get them actual paperwork from the dealership that they charge you for them to remove your spark plugs and change them out, and they will reimburse you. Because I've had that happen like at least about 3 or 4 times. The last one was in December, where someone had to get their spark plugs replaced, but they had like one of them that was cross-threaded, and the dealership charged them a few $100s, and I had them go send the paperwork to Dodge, and Dodge sent them a check for it. So I know this happens, and I know that they will actually replace this for Demon 170 owners. Well, that's basically just telling you about the actual, But yeah, I finally, like I said, I got this in the mail, but like you didn't necessarily have to wait until Dodge sent you this letter in the mail to actually go and get your recall kit done. Me personally, and I said this in the video, that you can literally just go call your dealership and tell them that you want to get the recall done, because the same paperwork that I listed in the other video, they was already in their system. So all they had to do was order that repair kit that was in that actual document, and they can go ahead and get it sent to the dealership. Because I caught wind of this whole recall thing when a friend of mine at another dealership, a power brokers, was telling about these daggone recall kits that was like quality getting sent to them, and they had this notice in their system. So and that's why I kind of broke the video online talking about this. But yeah, they basically just tell you in here that we are recommending the following improvements be performed on certain 2023 Dodge Challenger vehicles equipped with a 6.2 liter high output engine. The spark plug gap in your vehicle's engine may be set too high. This causes your vehicle to experience a reduction in power and an engine misfire, and may illuminate the malfunction indication lamp. So that's basically what it's saying right here. Let's see. How do I resolve the customer satisfaction notification? FCA golly, I cannot freaking read. FCA USA will repair your vehicle free of charge, parts and labors. To do this, your dealer will replace all the spark plugs. The estimated repair time is about 2 hours. In addition, your dealer will require your vehicle for proper check-in, preparation, and checkout during your visit, which may require more time. Your time is important to us, so we recommend that you schedule a service appointment to minimize your inconvenience. Please bring this letter with you to the dealership. California residents. The state of California requires the completion of this emission recall repair prior to the vehicle registration renewal. Your dealer will provide you with a vehicle emission recall proof of correction form after the customer satisfaction notification service is performed. Be sure to save this form, since California Department of Motor Vehicles may require you to supply this as proof that a customer satisfaction notification has been performed. In order to ensure that all protection under the emission warranty provisions, it is recommended that you have your vehicle serviced as soon as possible. Failure to do so could determine as a lack of proper maintenance for your vehicle. Oh man. So this was actually an emissions issue in California. Wow. I didn't know that. That's funny. So that might be one of the reasons why this spark plug issue was as an actual recall. That's funny. Yeah, the state of California requires this. Yeah, so I mean, so that's kind of like why this is not really classified as an actual recall because it's going like the state of California requires the completion of this emission recall repair prior to the vehicle registration renewal. So you have to get this done on your Demon 170 in a CARB state before you can actually get your registration renewal. But then it takes at the top, we are recommending the following improvements performed on your certain 2023 Dodge Challenger vehicles equipped with this engine. So it's kind of like confusing lettering. You either, I guess if you don't live in a CARB state, they don't necessarily require you to get this done, but you do live in a CARB state, you have to get this done. So I'm gonna basically probably take a picture of this and actually post it so you can see it. But that's pretty funny. If you already experienced specific condition and already paid for it to be repaired, you may visit FCA recallreimbursement.com to submit your reimbursement request online. Once we receive and verify the required documents, reimbursement will be sent to you within 60 days. If you have had previous repairs performed and or already receiving reimbursement, you may still need to have the repair performed. Oh, okay. So they actually give you a website in here to where you can get the actual recall reimbursed if you actually had to get spark plugs replaced in there. But that's definitely very interesting. And I'm definitely gonna ask some people in California or a CARB state if they were having issues getting their cars, I guess, to pass emissions regulations or whatever. But that was pretty interesting. The Dodge CEO, let's get to this one. The Dodge CEO does not deny a possible future V8 return for the Charger. Now, I definitely found this one very interesting because I was watching TK's video where he was basically saying that John Elkin don't want these guys talk about a V8 again because, as I said in my other video, if you knew that a V8 was coming back, the vast majority of people would not buy these current cars. And especially with the Hurricanes coming out, you know a V8 is coming within 2 years, you might be like, nah, because your actual value in this either Charter Daytona or the six-pack cars, your what's that? Basically, your resale value is going to be tarnished because everybody's going to want the V8 car and not the actual Hurricane car. Dodge's transition to electrification and turbocharged inline-six power plants have left many enthusiasts wondering if a V8 will ever return to Charger's lineup. While the Dodge CEO Matt McClure didn't outright confirm anything, he also did not rule it out. His recent interview with The Drive hinted that the possibility remains, but if a V8 were to make a comeback, it would take some time. And honestly, I was watching a podcast with Ralph Giles in there. He was talking to the guys from the Roaster Shop, and he was basically saying in his podcast that when they came out with the Challenger, it basically took them only 18 months from paper to production to make the Challenger. And I thought that was very interesting. So I'm going like, if they could make a whole brand new car from scratch, a Dodge Challenger from scratch, from paper to production, there's no way in the world it should take that much longer to actually take an actual already built Dodge Charger shell, do whatever modifications you got to do to the actual engine compartment to make a V8 fit in there. It should not take 18 months to do that. So that's what I'm thinking. By sometime like maybe next summertime, there should be an announcement that we're going to see an actual V8 in a Charger. So me personally, I think personally, if they want to really make a splash, maybe like Hemi Day next year, like 426. On 426, they announced the return of a Hemi in the Dodge. And then maybe like sometime that summertime, you can actually order a Hemi V8, maybe like a 5.7 and like a limited edition, Hemi Charger or whatever. I mean, that could be an extra trim level. The 2026, 2027 Hemi Charger. And that could be like basically like a few thousand units with a 5.7 in there. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm calling it right now. Maybe 426 day next year, we should hear an actual return of a Hemi in the car. Because I don't think, like I said, it's going to take 2 years to get this car right here to be able to fit a Hemi V8 in there. Because I just drove this car again for a second time, and looking at it, this car is so big that there's no way a Hemi cannot fit in this car. There's no way. And then when you see the actual six-pack cars, there's already people that's already saying that they're going to try to fit a V8 in this actual car. So I'm thinking I think at least by the end of this year, 2025. Yeah, the 2025, ain't it? Yeah. By the end of this year, you're going to see somebody, whether it's like Cal SRT or Wesley Champlin, somebody, a YouTuber is going to put a V8 in his car before December. I guarantee it, because there's no way in the world no one's not going to do it before next year. Could you imagine how many views somebody's going to get being the first person to Hemi swap this car? A lot of people want this car, but a lot of people want a Hemi in it. And so I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident. Like, I put money on it that Cal SRT is probably gonna be the first person to Hellcat swap one of these cars. Like, he's gonna figure it out. So I would actually put money down that by December he's gonna have one in a car and that's gonna be running around, driving around. And that'd be very interesting to see how it actually drives with a V8 in there. But I did also find this part of the article very interesting, that he also said that McLaren emphasized that the flexibility of Dodge's McLaren emphasized that the flexibility of Dodge's new multi-engine platform, which currently supports both fully electric and the twin turbocharged Hurricane inline-six Charger models. He noted that the previous generation of the Dodge muscle cars saw a variety of powertrains, suggesting that the future variants could bring more options. So that's basically right here what he said right here to he actually said this not to the drive. He said this to Motor Trend, because he said this on the Inevitable podcast, that if you look back across the last generation, you go through the engines. Yeah, he said we start out with a 3.5, the 6.1, then a 3.6, then a 5.7, a 6.4, a 6.2, a 6.2 Demon, a 6.2 Red Eye, a 6.2 Demon 170. So do you know how many different drivetrain powertrains they had? Rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. So he basically just saying that if you go look through the history of the Challenger and Charger over 15 years, they went through a variety of powertrains. So while they might start off with just a Hurricane, they might eventually jump to the 5.7, and they might eventually jump to a 6.2, and then they might jump to maybe a different powertrain. So he's not ruling it out right there. And I think because of this, him talking like this, is probably why TK was saying that John Elkin was trying to tell these guys, stop talking about different options of powertrains, because it's going to taint their sales. Because now everybody knows that this car is going to potentially have different powertrains, and people aren't as necessarily sold on the actual Hurricane power cars. People aren't going to buy them. And I say this right here. Some of these early guys are going to buy these 6-pack cars. When they go to like Cars and what Cars and Coffee, or like go to like other shows, or like they go hanging out in the parking lots with their other homeboys that have like, I don't know, Corvettes and Mopar, like Challenger and Chargers, or like other V8 powered cars, they're gonna get clowned, because these cars gonna sound like vacuum cleaners compared to the other previous Challenger, Chargers, Corvettes, stuff like that. Like, if you own one of these 6-pack cars, you probably gonna hang out with Honda guys. Oh man, but I think the only way this car is really going to be very popular, if they put a V8 in the car. I mean, personally, I think the car is still way too big, but as long as it has a V8 in it and it sounds pretty good, then people will buy it. But I don't think a Hurricane is going to necessarily save the production levels of this car. I think it's going to take an actual V8 in the car to make it sound cool, to make it more popular for people to actually want to buy it. Let me see. Yeah, I saw this part here. Even if Dodge were to greenlit a V8 powered Charger today, it would hit the market. It wouldn't hit the market overnight. Develop a new powertrain or reintroduce an existing one requires extensive testing, engineering, and emissions compliance. McLaren explained the complexity behind engine development timelines. You can't just turn something on that wasn't there before. Even if we were to say today, pick any engine, a V10, a 4-cylinder, it's a 1.5 to 2-year development cycle. So that's basically what I said, the same thing right there. It's going to take them maybe a 1.5 to bring out a V8 in this car. So, especially when you consider that when they announced that the 5.7 was coming back to America, it's probably gonna take them maybe a year to get that line up and running, to retool it and start building up 5.7s again, because we all know they're gonna put 5.7s back in the Ram, because Ram lost so much market share last year with just Hurricanes and Pentastars that they need the 5.7 back in the lineup. So they're probably going to prioritize the 5.7 in the Ram trucks to get Ram back up to par, because they are losing money by Ram not making a lot of sales. And then it's going to trickle down to the cars. And but like I said, before they actually announce it in cars, I'm pretty sure that a YouTuber is going to put a Hellcat in this car, and then everyone gonna be like, why don't you put a Hellcat in the car? Why don't you put a Hellcat in the car? Right? I don't even think even an 800 horsepower Hurricane is really going to save this car. I think it's going to take a Hemi, and people aren't necessarily going to care if it's the fastest, but as long as it can beat a Mustang, people will be fine with it. Oh, okay. That means if the decision was made recently, a V8 powered Charger won't realistically hit dealerships until at least 2027, and 2027 could easily be a 2026 year car. So I'm thinking by 426 day next year, we're going to get an announcement, because they'll probably show off one of these prototype cars running around on 426 day, or somewhere around that time frame. We're probably going to hear, spy shot. Well, not spy shots, but we're going to probably see spy photos and spy videos of a V8 powered Charger running around, probably sometime early next year, because I don't think it'll take that long for them to modify their car to actually work. We still have to find ways to keep engines supplying, and just because there's a chance that administration right now, that's only a 4-year deal, which honestly, that doesn't really make it. What does it matter, right? If you can sell enough cars within 3 years before the administration changes back, you can make a lot of money to save this car from embarrassment. So I think if you got a 3-4 year shot to make money off this car, why not make it? I mean, basically did the same thing with the TRX. The TRX is basically a 2021, 22, 23, and 24, and then it was done. So that's 4 years they made with the TRX, and it made them a lot of money, and it brought a lot of people in the Ram. So even that statement right there, I don't necessarily agree with. So yeah, you don't want to spend money if you don't want to. There are thousands of suppliers, right? Well, I mean, yeah, but I definitely believe that they're going to have to bring out a V8 in this car. There's no way I see this car lasting without a V8. I don't think people are going to want to buy $60,000-$70,000 basically inline six powered cars when you go basically spend that much money for a BMW inline. Right, let me go look at that BMW USA. BMW. Let's see. Because you can get what, a M5, whatever? 5 Series. What is it? Am I not seeing M Series cars? There we go. M Series. There we go. Let's see. 5 Series. So you get a BMW M Series. Damn, that's like 120 grand. Wow, that's a lot of dough. I didn't think the M Series cars cost that much money. That is pricey. What does a regular 5 Series cost? So that's 60 grand right there for a 530i. What's the actual 0 to 60 in those cars? Oh yeah, them suckers are slow. Them suckers are slow. Hey, I can't believe they done made that car that expensive. Over 100 some grand. What about an M4? Okay, so that's right there back in the range. You can get an M4, 80 grand. I mean, that's basically about the same price you're gonna spend on probably a pretty decent loaded Hurricane Charger. Probably. That's 4 seconds. Now, how much is it? How much is an M3? And an M3, you can get about the same price, about 4 seconds for an M3. So yeah, you basically about in the same price range for like an M3, M4 with not that many options on there. Because I think that a Hurricane inline six Charger is going to probably cost at least 65 grand base, at least. Because the cheapest inline six 550 horsepower Ram truck you can buy is an RHO at 70 grand. So that's what I'm thinking. At least an all-wheel drive only 2-door huge Charger is going to probably be at least 65. Yeah, at destination you probably like 67, 68. Then you start adding options to it, so you're probably going to be right there at the cost of a 4 Series. And those are coupes. Yeah, they got like a. Well, yeah. So when you go to a 5 Series, the only one you can get to where you can get to a sedan. So what they don't make? Yeah, there we go. M5 sedan, that's 120 grand. So yeah, sedan, yeah, M5 is way too expensive. But yeah, M4 coupe, I mean, yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see where the price of the actual Charger Daytona is going to. Well, not Charger Daytona, but the actual Charger 2-door car is going to cost. But yeah, I think you'd be right there in the same price range. Just a regular M4, you'd be right there. I mean, and I gotta figure that the inline six 550 horsepower for a heavy car probably gonna have very similar performance to that, the M4. Oh, let's see. Butter, my friend, any word on a real Ram Charger yet? I mean, that's one thing I was hoping that they would actually do. Well, like, let's say like the Wagoneer, for example, like get rid of one of the Wagoneers from Jeep and move it over to Ram. It could have made a Ram Charger, basically get them like a Wagoneer based Ram Charger for Ram, but I don't see them actually putting an SUV into Ram. They're probably going to just making pickup trucks and just focus on the midsize trucks. So I think the only Ram Charger they're going to have is actual, electric Ram Charger. It's going to be a hybrid. Shoot. But let's see. Hey Butter, why can't Dodge just use the Chrysler's V12 concept supercar and rebrand it as a Dodge Viper or something like that? Well, I would say for that right there, if they want to make a Viper come back out, they're going to have to base it off a current car because they're going to try to save as much money as they can. So in order to bring a Viper back out, I fully believe they will basically use that Maserati MC20 car as a base for a brand new Viper. I mean, it just makes too much sense. Yeah, Maserati MC20. So this is what I think they're going to do. They're going to basically make the MC20 as a base for a new Viper. They're going to have to. It just makes too much sense. It's already a body. They'll have to redesign it, or whatever, right? So all they got to do is basically just take the MC20, strip it down, do some changes to it, make a mid-engine Viper to compete straight up with the actual C8 Corvette, and then get rid of that V6 engine out of there because no one's going to buy a V6 Viper. I said that if it had like Demon 170s, 1,000 horsepower engine in there, people will buy it. People will buy a sports car, 1,000 horsepower Demon 170 powered Viper. Like, I know people are going to want a V10 in there, but I think a V8 1,000 horsepower Viper would sell mid-engine. I think it would sell. And then, especially if it's like automatic as well, it's probably gonna be automatic because I don't see they're gonna develop a mid-engine manual car for Viper. So it's probably like an automatic V8 1,000 horsepower E85 supercar. And so I mean, if it's in the $150,000 range, someone will buy it, especially if it can beat the D170 and a lot of stuff. Because I mean, guys were going crazy for $120,000 D170. I don't think $150,000 Viper 1,000 horsepower would be that far field away out of people's scope. I mean, then of course they can make a cheaper version of a Viper to get people into the door, just like how the Stingray is like a $60,000-$70,000 car. I mean, they could probably make like a, I don't know, maybe like a 5.7 powered or like a 392 powered Viper or whatever. Or I said that, hey, why don't they go borrow like a V12 from Ferrari, make a V12 powered Viper, And even if they want to make a Viper, you can call it the Tomahawk because they still got a trademark for the Tomahawk name. So maybe they go do that. So maybe instead of calling it the Viper, call it the Tomahawk, where it has like different powertrains. It had like maybe like an inline six, 550 horsepower, and that'd be like the base car. Then maybe it'll go step up to maybe like the Demon 170's 1,000 horsepower engine, and then maybe it'll go and use like maybe the regular supercharged engine like the Hellcat for 700 horsepower. So maybe that's an option, and then maybe they could just go all out with a Ferrari V12. Because John Elkann is the actual chairman of Ferrari, so why don't he just go and actually do that? So that's basically what I'm hoping, that they actually bring a Halo product to America. Because there's no, I mean, what Halo product is there in America right now? There's nothing out there. I mean, what is there? I mean, what's a Halo car for Stellantis right now in America? There's no Halo car in the brand. Like, there's no Halo car. I'm trying to think. What is the Halo product? Dodge does not have a Halo car. That Charger Daytona is not a Halo car. Ram lost to TRX. There's no Halo vehicle within Ram. There's no Halo car within Chrysler. All it is a minivan. So Jeep, what is the Halo car within Jeep? There's no Halo car. They have nothing. So I mean, what is it? Shoot, what's a Halo car in Jeep right now? I can't think of one. Shoot, there's no Wrangler 392. There's no Trackhawk. There's no, supercharged Wagoneer. So what is there? They have nothing as a Halo car. So that's what I'm going, like, they have to bring back a Halo product. There's nothing that makes anyone excited about anything within the brand. So they have to make a Halo product. Like what is there? I'm like, kind of think about that. There is no Halo product. So what inside Stellantis right now that's going to make people jump towards Stellantis? Because right now, if you go to GM, they got a Halo SUV with the Escalade V. They got a Halo sports car with the ZR1 coming out. And even the Z06 was a Halo car too. So they technically got 3 Halo products right there. The Hummer EV was I'd say that was a Halo EV until like the new, I don't know what an RC Silverados are fast, but the Hummer EV was a Halo product. It was a fast, obnoxiously big SUV. I mean, Ford has the Raptor R, that's a Halo product. They got the Ford GT, that's a Halo product. They got the GTD coming out, Mustang, that's a Halo product. They got the Bronco Raptor, that's a Halo product. What does Stellantis have? They're going to bring people into the door. So they have to break something for Stellantis that makes people excited to come to the door. So that is a very interesting question. Like, what in Stellantis makes people excited to come into the showrooms? But yeah. So to me, honestly, they have to make something that is exciting. It has to be expensive, because I mean, honestly, a Halo product has to be expensive, right? But there's no exciting vehicle within Stellantis that brings people into the showrooms, right? If you go, like I just said, if you go look through all the brands, there's nothing sitting at the top of each brand that is like exciting. Then, I see you saying right there, the Durango Hellcat is a Halo product for Dodge right now. Yeah, that's true. That's true, but it's old. But no one is going to the showrooms clamoring for a Durango Hellcat that is old. No one's clamoring for it. I mean, everyone was clamoring for a TRX because it was like an awesome pickup truck that can do a lot of things. Like, no one's really clamoring that much for a Durango Hellcat. Like, honestly, to me, if they want to bring people back to each brand, they got to rethink how they do Halo products. And, putting a Hellcat back in some of these products will make a Halo vehicle for each brand, right? If you go back to Jeep, if they take that new body style Grand Cherokee and put a Hellcat engine in there, they had a 5.7 in there, the first year or two, and then got rid of it. They can put a Hellcat engine back into a Jeep Grand Cherokee and make a Trackhawk again. that would be a halo product for them. They can go and actually put a Hellcat into a Grand Wagoneer to make it fight the Escalade V. And I've seen so many people say that the Grand Wagoneer interior is so much nicer than the Escalades. Why not give it the power? I don't know about the new Escalade. That new screen go all the way to the driver's side to the actual passenger side. That one long screen, I think that's going to kill the Grand Wagoneer. So I'm gonna go sit inside of a Grand Wagoneer and the Escalade, the new ones. I'm gonna go try to do that next week and see how they compare personally, and give it a shot. But I think those two vehicles for Jeep will basically give them a very good halo product to bring people back into the brand. I mean, maybe putting the 392 back into the Wrangler might work, but I mean, it was crazy to think that you got to spend almost $100,000 for a 392 Wrangler that's not a Hellcat, and you can go buy a TRX for like the same cost. Like, that was just already crazy to me that people was spending that much money on a 392 Wrangler. But if you go over to Ram, I mean, there's no Halo product sitting on top of that range either. So I mean, bringing a TRX back, that's one thing. Maybe making like maybe taking like the Limited or the Tungsten and put a Hellcat in one of them trucks to make a on-road Halo truck would be nice. Or I was reading your article earlier today, Mopar Junkie, that, well, maybe why not they make an actual Halo street truck? And that's a hint that I got from one of my dear friends, that, hey, why don't you look into the researches of street trucks? So I'm hoping that Ram would make a street truck version of a TRX that would appeal to a lot of people. Because I think if I had to do it all over again, if they had a street truck Ram that's 700 horsepower and a off-road TRX, I would probably buy the street truck version of the actual Ram 1500. Lowered, bigger rims, smaller tires. You know, I mean, hell, if it had like the same interior as the TRX, oh, I'd be sold. But owning the TRX, it's like, I would literally be in a tough position where I'm like, man, I would love to own both of them, because the thing I love with my TRX is you can go everywhere in that truck, everywhere. Yeah, I can go drive in my yard. I can go pop curves. I can go over medians and stuff. There's literally nothing I couldn't do. I can go climb up the big hill over at my grandparents' house. Like, it's nothing. Like, it got a big steep hill like this. I climb my TRX like it's nothing. So having owned a TRX, I would love it to come back. I couldn't necessarily fathom myself driving an RHO after having a TRX for like over a year. So I think that would be an awesome thing to do. Hellcat has been discontinued. They are only building a limited amount of Durango Hellcats with stockpile motors. Yeah, I know. I get that. But, you know, you never know when they go bring the 5.7 back to Dundee that they don't bring back a 6.2, right? And then I was saying that the other day, what if they just take the 6.2 and don't put a blower on there, and they sell you a 6.2 in one of these trucks, or new Charger, for example, and then you go direct connection to a Proberg dealer, and you be like, hey, look, I want 7 horsepower. You get this blower from direct connection. You get 7 horsepower, pickup truck or Charger. You can go get the red eye blower. Boom, get 97 horsepower pickup truck, or you can get 797 Charger. Or if you want to go big boy, you go get the actual the actual elephant blower and get the E85 sensor and stuff, and you can run E85 in your car. And so you might not get the same 1,025 horsepower from Demon 170 if you're, depending on what block they use. So maybe you get like 900 horsepower with E85, and you can do that as a daily driver. Because I would love to have a 900 horsepower daily driven E85 car. Yeah, I'll chew through fuel faster, but to fill up the tank is a lot easier, because I love my D170 to death. I can literally take about $30, fill the entire tank up, and drive around for like a week on one tank of gas if I'm not going crazy in that car. And I would love that for an actual pickup truck, to where I can actually go E85 in it, because I got E85 everywhere. So, but that's one thing that I would love for them to do, because Ford basically gave them the blueprint. Offer the Coyote engine without a blower on there, and let them go, after they bought the car, let them go do the Ford Performance and actually put a blower on there and get an 800 horsepower Mustang. Like, that right there was smart to me to Ford. So you can go buy a base model GT Mustang for like, 50 something grand, 40 something grand. Go spend 10 grand to go get a blower from Ford and make it an 800 horsepower car for around 60 grand. So that to me is pretty smart. Like I'm like seriously considering I would do it to go do that for the Mustang, but I need a 4-door vehicle. And so that's why I'm like, man, I would love for either a TRX to come back, a sport truck to come back. I mean, hell, like I want an Escalade V, but they made like a Grand Wagoneer one. I mean, that might be different to drive compared to Escalade. If they made a 4-door Charger that had the option to get a blower on there, I mean, I would do it. So there's a lot of options on there. So I don't necessarily want a 2-door car. So that's the only reason why I haven't really tried to, worry about getting a Mustang, because I need an actual 4-door vehicle because I got dad duties to do. You can buy a 392 conversion Gladiator from America's Most Wanted for only $5K more than a Wrangler 392, but with all the Mopar JPP parts too. Yeah, true. Still expensive though. Still very expensive, but I wish they would basically come back with a Halo product, because I mean, yeah, like you said, in Dodge, for example, right? In Dodge, the only thing you got is the Durango Hellcat, but no, like the Durango Hellcat looks nice, but it's like, do I really want a Durango Hellcat? It's huge. I don't necessarily want a huge Durango Hellcat, and I would rather have, like, honestly, I would rather have a Grand Wagoneer Hellcat over a Durango Hellcat for some reason. Like, I think the Grand Wagoneer looks better. Well, I won't say it looks better than the Durango Hellcat, but Durango has been around for so long. I want something to look different, right? Like the new body style of the Escalade V, you can tell it's an Escalade, but it's like got new look to it. And the Wagoneer, the Grand Wagoneer, ain't been around for about what, 3-4 years, so it looks different. That freaking what was that? The Durango. It's been around for like 5-6 years in that same body style, right? So it's like I want something a little bit different. I want a small displacement turbo V8. Well, we probably gotta wait about what, 3 years for that to come out. Because I mean, honestly, like, and I said this other time before, they can take a 5.7. Why not take a 5.7, redesign it, make one version that makes 550 horsepower, naturally aspirated, and then put twin turbos on there and basically make 800 horsepower out of a 5.7. I mean, I don't think that'd be too hard to do. I have a 5.7. I mean, ain't the Blackwing, not the Blackwing, but the AMG GT Black Series. Yeah, the AMG GT Black Series is a 4-liter V8 engine that makes 720 horsepower. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If they take a 5.7, redesign it, that way it's still a little bit bigger than the 5-liter Coyote. Take the 5.7, redesign it, just use it as a base, redesign it, naturally aspirated, 550 horsepower, and then twin turbo it. They should be able to make more horsepower than this 4-liter V8 from AMG. That's 720 horsepower, so they should be able to at least make 800 horsepower with a twin turbo. So I'm just saying. I know the 5.7 is old, but I mean, hell, it's a nice base. It can definitely be a start. Because I mean, heck, like, especially if it's like a band-aid until to actually make a new V8, why not? Why not? It already fits and everything. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But if you're going to go back to V8s, go big or go home. But you don't necessarily have to have a big, huge V8, right? I mean, if you're gonna take a 5.7, like who would literally expect a 5.7 to go make 800 horsepower, and they can make it from the factory? So, and then it's I think it'll work. It's still bigger than Ford's Coyote, and they can go make some big power out of there, twin turbos, and go spank a Hellcat, right? You know how crazy that'll be, like, right? You can go spank a Hellcat with a 5.7 from the factory. Yeah, the 5.7 is fine. If you're going to go, yeah, I already read that part. Need a whole new engine architecture. Well, from what I heard, that's what they was doing, but I don't know how far along they are. Cause like, ain't it typically when they develop an engine, it takes about 4 or 5 years to come out with an engine as they develop it. So, I'm not trying to wait 4 years for a Hemi Charger, right? So I'm just saying. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. 5.2 liter V8 naturally aspirated and a twin turbo model. I mean, yeah, that could work. I just think that if they're going to make a smaller V8 engine, they're going to make one slightly bigger than the Coyote from Ford, just to be like, hey, look, we're slightly bigger, we're slightly better, and we got more power. So I don't think they'll ever make a V8 engine that's smaller than Ford's, because they don't want to be seen as well. I mean, the inline 6 3-liter, but we all know that's because of European regulations. But the GME T6 took 8 years. Yeah. But I mean, I think that was like what on a back burner though. It wasn't like it was like a major priority to the last, few years, right? So, I mean, I figure it'll take at least, that's what I'm saying. It'll take at least 4 to 8 years, I guess, right? I do know that when they made when Ralph Johnson talking about they made the Challenger, it took them like 18 months to get the Challenger to production. So that's what I'm saying. They can shoehorn a current V8 5.7 to the car, and maybe by next summertime, they can have it announced that they're going to come out with the car, and then you can order one and maybe see it by Christmas of next year. Yeah, Kenny. Yeah, the old Madden was like a 4.8 liter V8, but I mean that was back then. So I don't see them now going to make an engine smaller than the actual Coyote from Ford, because they're going to want to stick it to Ford. I need to actually drink some coffee. It ain't gonna matter anyway, because all I know is it's not gonna be better than my Demon. If I actually drink coffee, this will be an actual moment where I can drink coffee. Like it's not gonna be better than this. I don't care what V8 it is. It's not gonna be better than this. I don't think there's gonna be a car that's gonna scare me more than this right here. Like, this is where my dear friends over here at Mac 8. My little gift. But yeah. I don't care what it is. Go big or go home. It ain't gonna be better than this. I need to like display this in my video, so they'd be like, oh, yeah. So you always see a Demon logo. Yeah, there we go. I'll put it right there. There's always a Demon logo. Just to remind everybody that no matter what engine comes out, whatever car comes out, it'll never be better than this. I'm just sorry. Like, I'm gonna be that cocky Demon owner. They're gonna be like, there's never gonna be another Dodge car gonna be better than this. Never. And if there is, I'm gonna try to buy it. And hopefully you don't have to worry about dealers jacking the price up on it. Oh man. But yeah, it'll probably, but I guess by the time they come out with a new V8 engine, it will be another administration in there. So that's why I'm going like, go ahead and put a 5.7 in there, because at least they put a 5.7 in there, they'll at least be able to get it done for the next 2 years. I'm building one that's gonna be better. Man, it can be better than my Demon though, man. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. Unless it's like all-wheel drive, yeah. Like, that'd be one thing that I would love to see. Like, I know Cal is making that Trackhawk powered Demon 170 in a 300. I would love to see him actually take a Challenger and do the all-wheel drive swap with the Trackhawk drivetrain with a Demon 170 engine in there, and I think that would be insane. Like, man, I think that'd be crazy. As much as you love the Demon, you don't think an ACR is better? I mean, an ACR what? Oh no, an ACR what? Like an ACR Challenger, or ACR Viper? I mean, which ACR are you talking about? What's up, Abel? Viper. Oh man, like I've never ever driven in a Viper ACR. I've never been in one. So I don't know. I know people love them. So people I know who had them loved them. People I know who don't have them say those are not good cars. But me personally, I would love to have one. I keep checking back every few years to see how much the prices are on them, and they're just out of my price range. I couldn't necessarily go buy, like me. It's against my car judgment to go spend 200 grand on a Viper ACR that's been out of production for like what at this point 8 years. I can't spend 200 grand on an 8-year-old car. Like I just can't do it. So if Dodge makes another one, I'll do what I can do to actually get it. but I can't go spend 200 grand on an old version of the car. I mean, I can drive a stick shift just as good as anybody, but spend 200 grand on one. It's like, I mean, you're like, I think the Viper ACR, especially that last year, is like one of the best looking cars I think I've ever seen. Like, I would put that car up looks wise against any other car. Like, I think it looks better than my Z06 do. I truly do. I think that car is so damn sexy. It's like it got a very distinct look to it, but it just costs too much money to go get one. And so, performance wise, obviously my Demon 17 is going to kill it. It's going to kill it because you got stick shift against the automatic. On a drag strip, that Viper ACR, unless I do like a Calvo kit, is going to get destroyed. On a track, okay, my Demon 17 is going to get killed on the track. On the street, I'll probably kill that Viper ACR. But honestly, I don't think driving wise, nothing's gonna get better than my Demon 170. I don't think it's gonna get better. What I love a Viper ACR, if I had money, if I had like $1 million in my pocket, that would definitely be one of the cars I would buy. If I had $1 million in my pocket right now, I'll probably have right now for $1 million, a Hummer EV, a Viper ACR, my Demon 170. Trying to think. My 70 Chevelle, a 01. Those probably be the 5 cars I would have. My 70 Chevelle, my Demon 170, a Viper ACR. Yeah, that's a very tough list. That's a very tough list. I had to think about it. Definitely have a Hummer, because I'll have a Hummer EV so I can drive around daily in it and don't have to worry about, having gas. When I drove that Hummer EV, after I drove that Charter Daytona, that daggone Charter Daytona can't hold a candle to the Hummer EV. I'm just sorry. But like Escalade V, I haven't driven in one, but the way it looks and all the stuff in there, because like it's such a baller move that you can go touch a button and then open the door, touch a button, close. Why not a foreign? Because the problem with owning a foreign, okay, is that it costs too much damn money. Like, I can either spend, because I would love to have a Aventador SVJ. I think that's an awesome car. Every time I watch Daily Driven Exotics, I always love watching videos with them with their Aventador SVJ. But the problem is that car is like $800,000. So for $700,000-$800,000, I can go buy a crap load of cars, right? I can go buy a Hummer EV for like 100 grand. I can buy an Escalade V for 150 grand. That's 250. That's 250 for 2 fast vehicles. I can go buy a Viper ACR. That's still another 200 grand. That's 450. Yeah, that's 450. And then I still have like at least 200 grand left to go buy, another vehicle or two, right? So for the money, I can have a lot more fun, a lot more variety of fun with the same money than having one car, right? So if I had a foreign car, the SVJ would be the one foreign car, either SVJ or McLaren 720. Those would be the 2 foreign cars that I would only ever buy. That Aston Martin Vanquish, that new one, oh, that thing is sexy. Like those would be the only 3 foreign cars I would buy if I was actually rich. American cars, there's so many American cars I would buy, like that I actually like. The GT500 Mustang, I love those cars. They look so aggressive. Viper ACR, Demon 170. I want to actually find my 2018 Demon. I would love to find my 2018 VIN Match Demon to go have both of those cars together. Realistically, that might be the one thing I realistically do. Go find my 2018 Demon either this year or next year. Have both of them together. I seen an actual for sale ad for it, like maybe like that was out like maybe 2-3 years ago. It's somewhere up in the Northeast, and someone already done modified it. They done put like red eye wheels on there. They done put like some kind of wicker spoiler on there. They done changed the diffuser down the bottom on it. So it's a black Demon 170 with I can't remember if it was black with red interior or it was black with black interior, but I've already seen an actual article about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna go try and find that daggone car. Like I know it's gonna have a bunch of miles on it, but I'm gonna go try to find it, and then that's one thing that I think Dodge should do. Like if you want to reserve or preserve your cars, they should have the ability for you to go back to a power brokers dealer and have them to go in and refresh your car. So like if you go find you my 2018 Demon, for example, they got like 50,000 miles on there. Can I go back to a power brokers dealer and have them go refresh the engine, interior, and all that stuff to take it back down to a respectable collector level, or basically start it back off to zero. That's kind of like what I seen what Manny Koshman was doing with his SLR. He sent the car off to McLaren. They went through the whole car, redid some things to it, and basically turned to a collector car. So I'm going like they definitely should have something like that where someone goes through and actually redos the Dodge cars, because I think there's gonna be a market for these cars for a long time, because these cars hold a lot of sentimental value to a lot of people, because no one really ever had before these cars the ability to own a 700, 800, 9,000 horsepower car that was reserved for the most richest of richest people. Like you got dudes who are in the hood who can go drop 30, well hell, you got people in the hood that go drop 20 grand and get a loan to go get a 7 horsepower car and do whatever the heck they want to it, right? So Dodge definitely hit the nail on the head with this Hellcat era, and these new cars, these 6-pack cars, I don't think they're going to actually try to I don't think they're going to reach the same cachet as the old cars did. If they bring back the Viper, it better not have a twin turbo Hurricane engine. It just has to be either a V10 or V8. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, Eric. Like honestly, if they brought back a new Viper, if it had a Demon 170 engine in there, I would so buy it. 1,000 horsepower mid-engine Viper. Whew. And it doesn't even have to be a Viper. Call it a Tomahawk. That way you don't piss off people who are normally used to Vipers. Take the Tomahawk trademark, take the MC20, doors go up and all that stuff, mid-engine, Demon 170 engine, and 1,000 horsepower, and that car would sell. Like it'll literally, hell, it'll have, because hell, I'm pretty sure they can just tune the engine to make 1,011, like 1,100 horsepower to have more horsepower than the actual 01. But that would be awesome. And then the next thing is people gonna like it more because they're gonna have E85 in there. So that means that you can actually drive that car cheaper than the actual 01 Corvette. So that's what I'm hoping, that they will actually bring back a Viper or Tomahawk with Demon 170's V8 in there. Or heck, like you can really send a FU to everybody to put a V12 from Ferrari in there, and people will be clamoring over that car. Like that'll be like the cheapest V12 Ferrari powered car you can get. Like that would be crazy, and it'll just sound insane out of that car. I love the TRX. I really hope they bring it back. I love my TRX too, but if they bring back a sport truck, I'll probably buy the sport truck over the TRX, because the one thing I don't like my TRX is you get the speed so fast in the TRX that 118 goes by so slow, and it's like, damn, I wish I could go faster. That's my only problem with it. Even with the D170, I love my D170 to death, but once you get up to like what's that, 149, you're like, damn, this car can go faster. And that's why I wish that they would have put a Demon crate with the Demon 170 that had the unlock race ECU, so you go faster over 150. So that's what I'm hoping they address that. There will be a new TRX. Ram's former marketing manager hinted at it, but it probably won't have a Hemi. Yeah, Mopar, Junkie. That's what who was it? Mike Caval Jr. He kept hinting at electrification. He kept saying all these interviews, well, yeah, the TRX, but what about electrification? What about electrification? What about electrification? So I always thought that the TRX is going to basically be a Ram Rev tri-motor vehicle that's off-road based. That's what I thought that the new TRX is going to be. Especially when you see how they're going to make the Charger Daytona, the Banshee, to be like the actual, fastest on-road EV they're going to have. I thought the TRX was basically going to be like an actual Banshee system inside of a TRX. That's what I thought it was going to be. And I'm hoping they're just rethinking that, because if the Charger Daytona is getting this much backlash, I don't know how much backlash it's going to get with a TRX powered EV, off-road EV. If the new TRX does not have a Hellcat or at least another power V8, then it's a no go. Well, hell, that's basically what RHO is. It's basically a non V8 powered TRX. It's basically what RHO is, man. Yeah, I know. I know it's the governor. That's the one thing I hate about it. The governor stopped it from going that fast. I don't like modifying the computer in the cars because, like, typically I'll get the cars for a few years and trade it for something else. So I don't like modifying stuff. But yeah, like I was saying, like there's not really a good Halo product within the brands right now. Like I said, only yeah. So when Mopar Junk was saying that, yeah, I totally skipped over the fact that the Durango Hellcat is the only Halo product within all Stellantis. Yeah, that's the only Hellcat powered vehicle. So I'm going like, that's not gonna bring the milkshake to the yard. So they're gonna have to put Hellcats back to cars. I mean, what products is out there that people want to have, right? Because I mean, right now, you go to Ford. Ford has what the actual Ford GT is not available anymore. So you got the GTD Mustang, that's a Halo product. Raptor R, that's a Halo product. So you got two right there. You got GM, they got the Hummer EV is still a Halo product. That's still fast, 1,000 horsepower. You got 01 Corvette, that's 1,000 horsepower. So you got those two Halo products right there. And then you got what for Stellantis? Nothing. There's nothing over 1,000 horsepower. Oh man, yeah. You think about it, they don't have nothing that's very powerful. And GM got a couple thousand horsepower power vehicles. That's wild. GM got the most horsepower in the land. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here because I gotta go grab my son before he gets over here. So I'm gonna see you boys later and have some more videos for you guys for tomorrow. So I'm gonna holler at y'all boys later.